So sorry for the wait between episode 1 and 2. HBO claimed the previous videos, the part 1 and 2 of episode 1. So I disputed it, but it's been days and they haven't really responded yet, so I thought I might as well just get on and carry on with episode 2 because I need to see more. One thing, I have an Instagram now, Juliette Reacts, as you could probably guess. So if you want to follow me over there, I'll start posting more, and we can chat about TV shows, maybe even ones that I'm not necessarily reacting to, but also I'll probably add kind of polls. We can't really do polls on Instagram. Oh, I suppose you can. Yeah, you can in stories. Anyway, so yeah, follow me over there. So yeah, I've noticed that HBO are kind of sticklers for the good old copyright claims, and for some reason all the shows that I do are HBO apart from Attack on Titan. But anyway, they make good shows, what can I say? So, since I watched the first episode, some things that I've discovered are that this show was written by the creators of The Wire, which is pretty cool. I haven't yet seen The Wire. That'll have to be a premiere pioneer someday, I guess. But, obviously I've heard of its reputation, and that's a good sign for this show. Some of the comments that I received on my last video had kind of a similar theme. They were saying that they felt that this was really realistic representation of modern warfare, what the commenters' experience has been. I know there's a lot of people that watch these videos that have been in the military themselves, and I guess it's cool that this show's done a good job of representing that. Another thing that was commented on was that I mentioned that I felt like sometimes men can have a way of interacting with each other that is I don't know how to say this. It's banter, but there can be kind of a mean streak and a streak of rivalry and trying to be the dominant one. Obviously I understand like mean banter, like I'm British, that's like in my blood. We are quite vicious with each other and I enjoy that. But I also do think that these men are in difficult circumstances at war, and that's partly why the humour leads on dark paths. It's kind of gallows humour, it's dark humour is necessary to get through the things they experience, but also I imagine in certain situations a softer touch or a more caring, more empathetic way of interacting is needed. One thing that I noticed about the episode was that it doesn't hold your hand when it comes to like military terminology and nicknames. There's lots of nicknames, and funnily enough I found that there's a glossary. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, there's a whole glossary of terms, of nicknames and specific terms, military terms. Beanies, black knitted watch caps typically worn by sailors, a powerful status symbol. Only recon Marines are allowed to wear them within the 1st Division. Captain America, I heard that quite a few times last episode. Derisive name for Captain Dave McGraw, commander of Bravo's 3rd Platoon, sister platoon to the heroes in the 2nd Platoon. Although Captain America is a rank above Lieutenant Fick, as commanders of respective sister platoons they have peers with one another. So that will be helpful. Like I said with my previous reaction to Chernobyl, the first episode, which I'll probably end up carrying on reacting to, but we'll see. It doesn't hold your hand when it comes to terminology, and I like that because there's nothing worse than have the kind of cringy, awkward exposition where characters speak to each other in a way that they wouldn't usually because there's a third person and that person is you, and they're trying to slyly explain the things that they wouldn't usually have to. So I think I would rather a show not explain things, or at least find a clever way to explain things, but ultimately not explain things and leave it to me to discover for myself. I'd rather be an active viewer than a passive one. Okay, so another issue I had was with hierarchy, and that's something that I still need to get to grips with, but a lot of you were really helpful in the comments. Our main guys were Sergeant Brad, that was Alexander Skarsgard, right? And then there was Lance Corporal Tremblay, and he was the one that was like a bit not trigger happy, but a bit too into the idea of war, or a bit too glad that he was there. Yeah, he wanted to like shoot a dog and stuff. There was Corporal Person. He was like the motor mouth one that was like really irritating Brad, right? And he like had too much dip. And lastly, who was the last person? Oh, and the last person was Evan Wright. Yeah, Evan Wright, who is the journalist from Rolling Stone, and he's the one that wrote the book that this entire show is based on, and I guess made audio recordings and stuff like that, which is damn cool. What a really cool addition to add to a show. So that's our like main group right now, I guess.
Oh, Katie, here you go. One for you. And none for Gretchen Wieners. Bye.
So the last episode had the guys crossing the border into Iraq, and they were tasked with taking the Euphrates Bridge. I think that's how you pronounce it. But, you know, there was kind of lots of cross wires when it came to what they actually had to do. There was changing of decisions, and ultimately they were faced with all these refugees, you know, people from the Republican Guard, and I guess just civilians as well, seeking asylum in America that they were promised from drops, I guess, like leaflets dropped from a plane, I assume, and yet their leaders, the Marines leaders, told them that they didn't have like kind of the time or the equipment like to take these men on that were, you know, hoping for safety, and so they were unsurrendered, which is like such a mad statement. You know, it's not a kind of Geneva Convention compliant thing, I guess. So yeah, that was kind of a concerning sign of what's to come. You know, things are, rules and intentions fall by the wayside as a result of the lack of tools, which was a big theme in the first episode, you know, with them fixing the cars and Brad like waiting to receive his turret and stuff, and also when he got Evan Wright to purchase some supplies because he himself isn't allowed to as a Marine. So yeah, the lack of tools was a big theme in the first episode, as was incompetence in general, I guess. People distrusting and being resentful of their leaders and feeling that they don't necessarily do a great job, which was something that we also saw in the Pacific and in Band of Brothers as well. So yeah, the end of the first episode was slightly concerning, with the men being unsurrendered and inevitably probably being captured and killed by Saddam's men, I guess. Okay, so I'm ready to watch episode 2. So what's this episode called? Let's see. Generation Kill, episode 2. The Cradle of Civilization. Let's see.
More than 48 hours into the war, the 1st Marine Division out of Camp Pendleton, Oceanside, California, is rolling with impunity on Saddam's highway.
Imagine that being your country and you seeing that coming down your motorways. Metallica. So they've like pimped their rides as well.
When we got back from Afghanistan, my mom tried to play me that song, and I was all, fuck no, Mom, I'm a Marine. I don't need to fly a little fucking patriotic flag on my car to show that I'm patriotic. Echo 4 Papa, think that hot is getting sweet on you.
I'm taking a shit.
I think that seems to be another aspect of modern warfare as well, or maybe, you know, historically, all warfare waiting around a lot. I suppose, you know, we had like massive years-long sieges in the past, so.
I think I believe the judge when he told me the Marine Corps was a superior alternative to jail. I should have shut up and done my time.
Is that a legitimate option that they have in America? Jail or army?
Maybe I'm your little bitch asshole, Ray. From all the cock that's been stuffed up it.
Man, we Marines are so homoerotic. It's all we talk about. You ever realize how homoerotic this whole thing is?
LT wants to see you, Brad.
To be honest.
What a fucked up war is this?
It's not good.
See, he's so mad that, like, he doesn't want to sleep, he wants to shoot something.
Hey, reporter.
What?
If you lay with your cock against the ground as the tank goes by, it feels fucking great. Come on, do it!
We didn't see the aftermath.
Back in Afghanistan, we didn't leave a speck of Americana behind.
Bruh, could you imagine if Hajis invaded our country and started shitting in people's suburban yards?
Not really.
Why you gotta go and make things so complicated?
Wow.
Since I was young, I felt drawn to the Warriors Society.
Oh, that's a little gay.
Our minions are our minions are rolling. John, he just called you a minion.
Minion.
The people here live like rats. Hopefully what we are doing will lead them to better life. Your calling wasn't to be...
No, I feel bad.
And there's been a change in the ROE. Anyone with a weapon is declared hostile. If a woman walks away from you with a weapon on her back, shoot her. If an armed Iraqi sells good humor at the back of a VW, shoot him. I don't care if you hit him with a 40mm grenade.
Roger that, sir.
Wow. That's a big change of order, isn't it? Even if she's just walking away from them. I guess they've got to be careful, haven't they? But are people not allowed to have their own weapons?
Where the fuck did you get this? Huh? eBay? eBay.
Duct taping it. I really like him for some reason, that Stark Sands. I just think that he's just really good in the role, I don't know why. It's the first time I've seen him in anything, apparently. And people told me that Rudy, what was he called? That he is actually playing himself, which is awesome. I feel like that the way that they pace these shows makes me feel like them, you know, like waiting and tense for the shootout.
Army.
Oh dear.
Oh damn. We ain't in the city yet.
Well, here we are.
Come Alpha gets to pop their cherry and we don't.
They have their mission, we have ours.
Brad, we sit here with our nuts exposed. But when our CT-1 assaults over the bridge and we go in behind to get their casualties, get our nuts blown completely off.
I was going to say that because this is based on real people, you can't really expect the usual narrative structure or character arcs you would do if it was a fictional story. Like, if it was fiction, I would say that, like, I would be concerned for Tremblay, that he might be too hyped for war and then get killed as a result.
I want to hear reports. Test rooms. Test rooms. Leader.
That was close. They're just like getting shot at and they're not allowed to respond.
We're clearing hot on civilian targets, regardless of whether they're armed. If they're spawning those mortars, take them the fuck out.
Roger that.
I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, they're clearly in danger.
How's it going?
They shot one of my Marines in the stomach. Out there. We returned fire, blew a donkey's head off. They didn't see much else.
Hey, buddy, do you need anything? Food, water?
It's all good, bro.
Oh, that was a good performance. Oh, on both sides.
That we are going to be in the game, gentlemen. And when we play, we, not the enemy, are going to dictate the tempo.
It's funny how this feels like a kind of sports coach, you know, hyping up his team.
Giving us a pass on our men not shaving?
I'd interpret what he said to mean facial hair is not going to be our focus for the next 24 hours.
Yeah. Imagine that being what you got from that speech.
A few years ago, dog, I refused a diploma from my community college.
What?
Yeah, I didn't want no piece of paper from the white master saying I was qualified for his work.
Oh.
Then I joined the Corps. Figured you can't beat him, join him.
I was just gonna say, like,
See,
seems extremely hypocritical.
guys in pajamas stopped 2 Marine regiments.
You know, Paul, guys in black pajamas did all right in Vietnam, too. You gotta respect the pajama.
Well, from the amount of arty we're putting down, I don't think we'll have... What's the population here?
I've heard 400,000.
Scratch a few off that number.
Too soon.
Do you have the photograph of my girlfriend I was showing to person the other day?
No. I think I gave it to Leon.
Leon?
I think
Let these plebeians look at a photograph of your girlfriend.
Hey, Walt.
Was the colonel any more specific about our orders than that?
Our father told us the mustache growing contest had nothing to do with building morale. Before the war began, Division G2 had covert asset intel that Iraqis planned to infiltrate our units. The mustaches were part of the general's plan to uncover enemy infiltrators. So if you see a Marine with a mustache from now on, he might be an Iraqi.
His face.
No more. Oh yeah.
Useful.
Bravo's on point when we roll through Nasiriyah and then break from the main force.
Does on point mean leading?
Been broken down unarmored HumVees. They should change our name to First Suicide Battalion.
The way that they drop information is insane. Let's have a little ramble about mustaches and then... By the way.
True, sir. If we had enough batteries to power our night optics, we turn everything on when we move. I'm just glad they had the wisdom to push us through at night. I'm assured that we will be crossing that bridge before dawn. I'm assured of this.
They have such like a sarcastic way of interacting with each other, like... like he knows that he can't be rude about his hires, so it's just like...
Sergeant, I thought they were gonna send us over the bridge in the darkness.
Not retarded enough.
It's crazy how the orders change so quickly. You can shoot them, you can't shoot them, you can if they're unarmed. We're going in now. No, stop, we've got to wait. Oh my god, I feel vertigo. Ooh, ooh. So many possible points of action. Wow. Is that like a car bomb?
It's nothing, Charlie.
You okay, bro?
Don't copy, Hitman 2-3. I don't copy a word you're saying. Every time Baptista gets excited, his English goes out the fucking window.
I mean, he's not even a citizen. He snuck in from whatever fucking greaseball country he's from, and now he's a Marine. You know, there ought to at least be some sort of grammar test before you're out here blowing shit up with heavy weapons.
If they did that, fucking buck-toothed, cross-eyed sister fucking Hicks like you wouldn't get in either.
Fuck! All the bad guys are opening up on the guys behind us. Why aren't they shooting at us?
Imagine being mad about that.
The CNN would definitely pay for drama like that, bruh. That shit was extreme.
He wants to go back to his own vehicle. Why are we stopping? The shot through the, like, the debris makes me feel nervous about people hiding.
This is a nice place for an ambush. Why the fuck are we stopped?
Orders.
Ooh, tense, tense, tense.
This is the last place that we should be.
I am so sick of Captain America spazzing out on our comms.
They could be coming from all sides.
McGraw, mate.
They could be coming from all sides.
This is not helpful.
Is our platoon commander okay?
It'll be alright if I turn my 50 to our 6 and let off a few rounds.
You guys got that?
It's fucking ours.
No, it's not. It's an AK.
Yeah? And it belongs to our fucking platoon commander.
Mate.
Hitman 3, this is 3-2 interrogative.
Sir, why'd you shoot the car?
Denying the enemy transportation. This is Hitman 3.